Hey, if you've been following along, you're probably sick of me saying this. We just got back from a company meetup in Vegas, which gave me this opportunity to sit down with a couple of really cool people, Allison Groves and Chris Gallo, to talk to them about everything. And so this is just one piece of this 45-minute chat Allison and I had in front of the camera. Here's Allison. How's the Vegas trip been? Like, what are some of the things that you've gotten from the Vegas trip? Like, we've gone to meet like the whole Zappos thing.
Yeah.
Any thoughts that you kind of took away from
On
that?
the Zappos thing?
Any of it.
The Zappos thing is really interesting to me because we have become this culture of business where something that Zappo does is the extreme and the abnormality when it should be the complete other way around. Like, we should all do business in the way that Zappos does business. We should all put people in front of money, and for some reason they are the extreme. And I feel like we are too. Like, so much of their ethos is a big part of what we do and who we are as people, but we've cultivated that as well. They just have, there's 1,500 of them and there's 7 of us.
Yeah. And it's like we haven't had to codify it because I maybe because we're small or something, and maybe we hire people who all are empathetic with other people or something.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to do it soon because 13, 15 is where it starts to spin out of control. I've witnessed several times.
We also talk about stories, and we also had this kind of surprise that Zappos is just now kind of starting a company blog in which they're sharing stories from customers and from internally. When their stories are just so interesting, why did it take this long for them to do it? Zappos is doing this blog, it sounds like. They're doing a lot more written content. They're trying to channel all this crazy stuff that's going on in Zappos in a more like their concerted effort way versus letting randomness happen, like who's going to pick up a story. They're trying to now be their own PR a little bit and get some stuff out.
Yeah, so they just started a team last year, or last year was just 4 months ago. So sometimes in the last 12 months to tell their story, which was fascinating to me because the only thing we know about Zappos is their story. So everything that has come out about them has been completely organic, and it's all centered around their support team, right? Like the story about the support agent who sent flowers to someone's funeral, all of those types of things. It's not been Zappos telling their story, it's been their customers telling their story for them. And so it's interesting to me that it took them 15 years that they realized that they needed to be the ones that harness that and put some control, not control is not the right word, but you understand what I mean, like pull that stuff together instead of just kind of letting it float out into the world and be done with it. So that was super interesting to me. The fact that they didn't have anyone really cultivating their own story, and their story is their company.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that we've kind of realized that we need to start doing more of. It's not about putting 100 man hours of engineering into a new feature. It is, being better and cultivating more relationships with the thousands of customers that we already have, and then letting that spread exponentially, which is what they, that's their whole business model.
Yeah.
That's why their biggest team is their support team.
And it was kind of inspiration to us to kind of think about, how are we sharing our stories? How are we sharing the stories of our customers? Can we do a better job of it? So
to me, circles back to the same thing. It's like, why do we think anyone would care about what our story is? Like, why, that's the one thing that I think about with the whole Zappos thing is like, do our customers care? And I completely 100% agree with you with the whole like Web 3.0 thing. I think you're absolutely right. Like, we want to feel that connection to the things that we do and that we buy and that, and all that. But if we, like, I really want to start doing these case studies and like spending more time with our users and telling their stories. Like, see, that to me is more interesting. People don't give a shit about us, right? Like, I mean, maybe they do a little bit, but if we can harness what we have and tell other people's stories, I think there's something really compelling in there. And maybe that's what Zappos is actually doing. I don't know. We have yet to we need to go look at it. But to me, I feel like that's the more powerful thing. Like, we use the platform that we have as the connector to help other people tell their stories. And we just happen to be the common denominator in all those stories.
Right. I mean, I agree and I disagree. I mean, I agree because I do think there's a lot of power. I do want to be doing more case studies. There are a lot of stuff. I mean, that's why we made the effort to try to, I wanted to start sharing the weird stories of our customers. And like, I feel like those weren't, there weren't enough lessons that were coming out of those things to like make people, there wasn't enough value out of those things.
Right.
Like we tried this effort where we interviewed some more of our kind of more interesting customers. They were doing some quirky things with High-Rise. Did we do a geologist? Did we get that one in?
Chris did one on like an artist.
We did the artist. I remember the crazy sculpture thing. So these were just very interesting people. But I don't know if we really pulled out the like, now you're going to go forth and like, this is going to help your business right now.
Yeah.
It was more like, whoa, this is weird. This is a really interesting like business of sculpture. But it wasn't like actionable, maybe. You weren't going to read it and be like, that's how I should set up my CRM, or that's how I'm going to get more leads. I think that's maybe the content people want out of their use cases from customers. Like if we're going to, I mean, the story stuff is awesome, yes, but I almost feel like somehow we didn't really, somehow like the stuff didn't come from the interviews yet that were like really actionable things.
Yeah, and I guess the difference between us and Zappos is if they're going to tell their story, it's actually about the like, you know, picnic that they're throwing for 2,500 people or that type of thing. And that's just not applicable to us. You know, like we can tell our own individual 7 stories, and you know, you and I can sit here and tell our story all day long, but like, does that matter? Yeah.
Well, so yes, so from doing, we just got done with all these jobs to be done interviews, and so I feel like I've got this really great pulse on like who our core audiences at High-Rise, and a lot of them are in these situations where High-Rise is like a starter for them, from like moving from Excel, or they're just getting started. Their business just got started. Like this is the first system they're putting in place to finally start putting like a process around getting leads or managing follow-ups. So a lot of these people haven't been around very long, or they're just taking their business seriously for the first time. And so like a lot of these people are looking for lessons, whether it's from us or whether it's from a sculptor, you know, like I don't think they care who the story is about.
Yeah.
If it's about you, you know, like how you learned how to make a customer really happy, or how that customer figured out how to make their customer happy. I don't think they care. They just want the lessons. And I think they're hungry for lessons. So like, I don't disagree that it's going to be powerful to spend some more time on like doing use cases really right. But also, like the stuff I've been sharing on this vlog, some certain things, like I did this one about how we do drip campaigns. It blew up. Like people have been like, they keep emailing me about it.
Really?
Like, yeah, like
That's
it'll
awesome.
make a great blog post, because right now it's like a really great vlog post. People keep, oh my God, gave me so many ideas on how to use High-Rise. And it's like,
we do that every single day.
Right.
Like both Chris and I, like once Nate sends the first drip email, we come behind and send like 3 or 4 more.
Right.
And it only takes like 2 minutes, and I don't know why people have not thought of this before. I just take 2 minutes a day and be like, you know, just 2 or 3 sentences. Put the day of the week in there so they know that it's live, so to speak. If it's, you know, Monday, what I did that weekend. If it's Friday, what I'm gonna do the coming weekend. You know, just usually about the weather, because that's the easiest thing to talk about. And people respond to that. One time someone gave Chris a hard time about being a North Carolina fan, so.
I think a lot of High-Rise customers want to hear your story on how you do awesome stuff. And how you do customer support. And so don't stop looking outside, because I agree we need those case studies, but don't think that you have nothing to share, no one cares, because I know they care. Because they keep telling me they care about the stuff I write about, like how we're doing stuff. They would love to hear more from you guys, and what you're figuring out on how to like fix the stuff you just shared. You shared with me just even yesterday something interesting about a debate. We were trying to figure out like, should we do more phone support? And you have some interesting thoughts on phone support. That alone is a topic I bet a lot of people want to hear. Like, should you offer a phone number on your site? Zappos does. Should we all do it? I don't know. I think it depends, and I think I agree with Allison's. We probably shouldn't even get into all of this now. It should be a separate. It's another day.
Yeah.
But It's another topic that is worth you sharing because you had some insight on. I bet a lot of people care about it. And please subscribe to Allison's channel. She uploads weekly. She, films a lot of stuff about the stuff that she goes through with Girls to the Moon, a really cool organization she helped create, as well as just kind of, telling the stories of some really interesting people that are in her life. Allison has maybe one of the most interesting lives I've ever bumped into. Like, this video isn't even gonna do justice to the weird stuff that Allison's circle of life.
It's weird. But I don't like talking about it either, because it's just it's just my life. And
yeah.
Like last night I even felt gross telling that story about Kelly Clarkson beat me not once but twice at pool.
If you dig these videos, please click that thumbs up. It helps spread this stuff on YouTube, and I could use a lot more spreading. And if you've got Twitter or Facebook, please share a link. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I upload a new video every single day about business and marketing and product design and just getting through life. And I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Bye.